Good evening, sir. So today I'm going to presenting the material, which means the title was a speech mechanism or a speech production in a phonetics phonology. So before I start the result from my personal answer about the speech mechanism, let me introduce myself. So, my name was Angelus Noprianson, or you can call me Louis. Louis, just Louis. So, let me begin. What is a speech mechanism? A speech mechanism, or a mechanism of a speech production, which means the function it starts from our brain. It's move through to the biological process, which means the process of respiratory, functions, and articulatory to produce a sound. So these three, I'm gonna explain it, which means from the respiratory, this included the lungs because it's a primary organ in a respiratory system. The second, it's a phonation system that is going to the larynx and the pharynx. And the last one, it's a articulatory system, which means it's going to the oral cavity, or I can say it's a mouth. And the last, it's a nasal cavity on the articulatory system. So I'm going to explain it from the brain, which means why I'm started from there. So the speech, it's actually begins from our brain to produce a sounds, because what I'm imagine about a brain, it is important for a human creature. So I can say if we live without a brain, well, I can say it's impossible. So this brain, it's considered as a verbal message, or I can say this process is known as a conceptualism. This brain, uh, when we are when I'm doing to represent the presentation, I must uh, think about the words, the letters, the sentence from my brain, what I want to talk about it. So it begins from the brain to produce a sounds, and the next of the brain was a focal tract. So for the focal tracts, this part, which means the airs passes during the speech of production, what is happening now, because the focal tracts, it starts from our lungs, which means we have two lungs. The first one is the left, this is the left lung, and the second it's the right lung. So from the lungs it goes through the trachea. Trachea means that what I'm pointing is this, it's a trachea means. So from the trachea it's going to the pharynx and divided into two parts. The first, it's a nasal cavity, and the second, it's oral cavity. What is that? So the oral cavity, in my personal answer, it's a mouth, and the second, the nasal cavity, it's our nose. This is the parts of the focal tract. So I'm going to continue, which means it's the organs of speech, or the different name was articulators. In these articulators, which means I can say it's the organs of speech can divide it into two things, into two things. They are the active and the passive. So for the active articulators, it's divided into four parts, which means the lips, we have the upper lip and the lower lip, the upper and the lower. The second is the glottis. The third was a tip. The third was a tongue. Can divide it into five parts, which mean a tip, a blade, front, back, and a root. And the last one, it's a vocal cords for the active articulators. So for the passive articulators, it's divided into 6 parts. There are included a teeth, which means this teeth have 2 parts. That are included the upper teeth and the lower teeth, because this after the lips. The second is a alveolar ridge. The third was a palate, which means it divided into 2 parts, the hard palate and the soft palate. The fourth is uvula. The fifth it's a velar, and the last one it's a epiglottis. In the organs of speech, there are included the respiratory organs, phonatory organs, and articulatory organs, which mean the respiratory system, it's divided into three parts. There are lungs, the muscle of chest, and the trachea. For the phonatory system, that have a larynx and the pharynx. The last one is the articulatory system, which means we have 5 parts. There are included the lips, the teeth, roof of mouth, the tongue, and the vocal folds, or the different name was a vocal cords. So for the respiratory system, the lungs are compressed the air and push up, let it up from our lungs to the trachea, which means these actions name breathing. When we are inhale and exhale, that name was breathing in a respiratory system. For a phonation system, there are included the larynx and the pharynx. So the larynx, I can say it's a voice of box that contain a visual cords with the glottis. But for a pharynx, it's a tube, which means it begins from a larynx. So I'm going to the next part, which means the articulatory system, that are divided into 5 parts, what I'm talking about before about that. So the 5 parts in articulatory system was the lips, the teeth, the roof of mouth, the tongue, and the vocal cords. So the lips in the articulatory system, it's divided into 2 things, which means it's a upper lip and the lower lip. So for the example, when we are trying to create bilabial sounds, which means it's a p, it's a p sounds and the b sound. So that's the bilabial sounds. But for the labiodental, it's on the teeth, which means it's found by our jaws. So this is our jaws. This is our jaws, okay? After the lips. So about the teeth. This teeth is mainly responsible to creating a sounds such as a labiodental of the consonant sounds, which mean a f sounds and v sounds. For example, a fish and a van. A van. The third was the roof of the mouth, that is that we have alveolar ridge, hard palate, a soft palate, and uvula. So I'm going to explain of 4 of this part. So the first one is a alveolar ridge, which means the top front teeth, and the hard palate, which means it's the pink one. Sorry if I'm saying or making the example like this. No, maybe skip about it. Basically, alveolar ridge, it's behind of the upper front teeth. I can say it's the pink one, the upper of our upper teeth, that is located on front teeth. That's the alveolar ridge. The second is a hard palate, which means a thin horizontal bony plate of our skull. It's located on the roof of our mouth. The next one is a soft palate, that is allows the airs to pass through our nose and through our mouth. And the last one is a uvula. This uvula, the location, which means it's on the soft palate. The function with the back of the throat, the palate, and the airs coming from our lungs to create a number and the others sound. So for the tongue, I'm divided into 5 parts, which mean a tip, blade, front, back, and the root. Because this, it's important part to product of every speech sounds. Well, I can say it's almost. And for the vocal cords, the space between the vocal cords and the glottis, which means the vocal cords can be positioned in a different ways to create a sound. The next one, in the organs of speech, we have the function, which means the source of sounds. The second, the generation of sounds, and the last one, it's a resonance. For the source of resonance is the throat and the lungs, which mean the air system, the air stream is produced. That's for the source of sounds. For the generation of sounds, the air stream released by our lungs that cross to our trachea and passes through our larynx, where the vocal cords are placed. And the last one, it's a resonance. Resonance is the system of cavities, which means we have two, the oral cavity and nasal cavity. The oral cavity, what I'm saying about, it's a mouth, and the second, it's a nose as a nasal cavity. I'm going to the speech chain. So this, it's involved to the process of speech production from a full realization that we call a speech chain. Okay. The process of this, it's from our lungs when we are creating an air stream. It pushes out from our lungs to the trachea, and then it passes through our larynx or the Adam's apple, going to the vocal cords situated. And the last part of this material in speech mechanism was the state of the glottis. This state of glottis, the state of the glottis have three positions. The first one, it's the closed, and the second, it's open. The last one, it's a narrow. So for the closed glottis, which means when the closed glottis are folds together, so that means there is no breathing, no air is allowed to pass with on the between them, between of this glottis, if it's closed. The second, it's the open which means when we are breathing, inhale, exhale. That's the breathing. And the last state of the glottis, it's a narrow. In this state, the vocal cords will vibrate to produce a sound. It's vibrate to produce a sound. Otherwise, I can say it's a phonation, which means from the larynx and the pharynx. So all the nasal vowels are voice, but for the consonant, it's voiceless. The difference between voiced and the voiceless was when we are creating a sounds of b and a p. When we are creating a b sounds, try use our fingers, put it on our throat and create a b sounds. B, b, b. Maybe 3 times of it, because b sounds, it's a vowel and it's creating a vibration sound. That means this is the voiced sound. So for the example of the voiceless sounds, it's a p sound. A p sounds, it's without a vibration. Well, you can try it. So this is the end of my presentation about this material. The title was, okay, I'm going to continue at the airstream system, the airstream mechanism. So this air mechanism, I can call it, it's a pulmonic airstream, because it has to do with our lungs. This is with the fact that when we are breathing, it's coming out from our lungs through our trachea. Well, this pulmonic airstream mechanism, I can say it's when we are breathing, the air's going out from our lungs. I mean, to push up, go to the lungs, goes to the trachea, which means we have a larynx and the pharynx, goes to the mouth, or it can go to the nasal cavity, or I can say the different name was a nose. So how this air system it's happened? So when we are breathing, the muscle chest it's become big. I mean, it's pushed on this. it's expand. Our lungs, it's expand. That creating an air. When we are breathing, inhale, it's expand. But when we are exhale, it's not expand. So that means we are breathing. So this is the end of my presentation about this material. The title was a speech mechanism, or the different name was a mechanism of speech production. So it's finished, and thank you for the attention. And if I make a mistake from the beginning to the end about my pronunciation, I'm so sorry, because it's in the progress of that. So I'm so sorry for all of that, and thank you for the attention. Okay, I'm going to continue